On a warm afternoon in Burkina Faso, an unassuming figure sat quietly in the first-class lounge of a busy airport. He wore his army uniform, a camouflage jacket, pressed neat, boots polished, and a red beret resting firmly on his head. There was no entourage, no ceremony, no announcement of his presence. Just a man waiting for his flight, holding a small boarding pass for seat 2 Amperes on flight 227 to Ouagadougou. Around him, the lounge was alive with its usual theater. Travelers scrolled through glowing screens, sipped from glasses, or spoke loudly about deals and destinations. Yet a few pairs of eyes drifted toward the soldier in uniform. Some looked once, then again, silently asking themselves, "Who is this man? Why is he sitting here in first class?" His uniform suggested discipline, but his quiet demeanor suggested humility. When the boarding call arrived, the lounge emptied into the gate corridor. As he stepped forward, handing his ticket to the attendant at the counter, her practiced smile faltered. She scanned his attire with a tightening gaze, her tone sharpening. "Excuse me, sir, you must be lost. This lane is for first class." The man's calm did not waver. He extended the ticket again, his voice steady. "This is my ticket." She took it, frowning as her eyes landed on the bold print. Seat 2 Amperes. The disbelief in her face deepened. "This must be a mistake, sir. This flight is not for someone like you. You should be in economy." Her words carried not just suspicion, but dismissal. Nearby passengers began to stir. A woman gasped, a man in a suit frowned, and several hands lifted discreetly to record the exchange. The soldier stood unmoving. "I purchased a first-class ticket," he replied softly. "That is my seat." Her laugh cut the air, sharp and scornful. "You? In first class? You probably can't even pronounce the name of this airline." A younger attendant stepped in, took the ticket, and scanned it with his handheld device. A green checkmark blinked across the screen. "It's valid," he confirmed. But the senior attendant shook her head, her prejudice laid bare. "It doesn't matter. Look at him. Do you really think he belongs here?" The man in uniform breathed slowly, his composure unshaken. "I am not here for drama. I will take my seat." His words carried quiet weight. Finally, she moved aside, but not before muttering, "We'll see how long you last in 2 Amperes." Inside the cabin, the first-class seats gleamed with leather, the air perfumed with cologne and wine. The soldier placed his bag overhead, sat by the window, and pulled a small notebook from his pocket. He began to write, his pen steady, his face composed. But the attendant's hostility followed him. When she offered drinks, her voice was flat. "What do you want?" she asked. "Just water, please," he answered. She dropped the bottle onto his tray without a napkin, without courtesy. Passengers nearby exchanged uneasy glances. Her hostility became more pronounced as the flight continued. She skipped his seat when handing out hot towels. She smirked during turbulence, telling him to buckle up tight, her tone dripping with mockery. She slammed his meal tray down with the sneer, "Hope this meets your standards." The soldier responded each time with silence, patience, and calm. But others had noticed. A French CEO named Francois, seated a few rows away, finally confronted her. "Why are you treating this man with such disrespect?" he demanded. "I paid for peace, not to watch you insult a passenger." Applause rippled through first class. The attendant flushed with anger and stormed away. As the flight neared descent, the storm reached its peak. She leaned close to the soldier, whispering venom. "You smell like someone who hasn't bathed in a month. You think this seat makes you clean? It doesn't. It just makes this cabin stink." Before the soldier could reply, the woman seated beside him, the French lady with pearl earrings, intervened. "That is enough," she declared. Francois stood as well. "You have embarrassed yourself, this airline, and all of us," he told the attendant. "This man has shown more dignity than you could ever imagine." Moments later, the plane touched down. Passengers pressed against the windows, murmuring at the sight below. A line of soldiers standing at attention, a black car parked beside a rolled-out red carpet. Confusion filled the cabin. "Who is this for?" someone whispered. As the soldier rose, lifting his bag, the young attendant rushed forward, showing his colleague a photo on his phone. The truth was undeniable. There in the image stood the same man now leaving seat 2 amperes, only in full military regalia, saluting before thousands. The caption read, "President Ibrahim Traoré, President of Burkina Faso." The senior attendant froze, her face drained of color. "No, this can't be," she whispered. "I didn't know." Ibrahim turned to her, his voice steady, eyes firm. "Would it have made a difference if you had known? Respect is not a gift for the powerful. It is a duty to every human being." He walked off the plane into the salute of his soldiers and the flash of cameras, his beret tilted against the sunlight. He had boarded as a simple passenger, but disembarked as a lesson. The world, through recordings now viral online, saw not just the insult, but the calm dignity with which he endured it. At a press conference later that evening, dressed in his uniform with the flag of Burkina Faso on his chest, President Ibrahim spoke with clarity. "No human is above another. You don't need to be a president to deserve respect. You only need to be a person." His words echoed beyond borders, carried into classrooms, homes, and workplaces. The incident sparked outrage, but also reflection. It revealed the prejudice still alive in many hearts and underscored the power of humility and restraint. "If your power makes others feel small," he said, "it is not power, it is weakness." That day, the soldier in uniform in seat 2 amperes showed the world that silence can roar louder than hate, and that true strength is not in titles but in how we treat one another.